If you've been forgetting words mid-sentence, losing track of conversations, or finding your car keys in the fridge, then welcome. You're not crazy, you're not broken, and no, this just isn't getting older. So today we're digging into one of the most confusing and relatable midlife mysteries. Do I have ADHD, or is this just hormone-fueled brain fog? Here's what we're covering today. The difference between ADHD and perimenopausal brain fog. I can say that. How fluctuating estrogen messes with your memory, focus, and mental energy, and why ADHD in women is often missed or masked for decades. Plus, real-world science-backed strategies to get your clarity and confidence back so you can feel more like you. By the end of this video, you'll know what's going on in your brain and what to do about it. Because let's be honest, you don't need to push harder. You need a new game plan. One that works with hormones, your life, and your genius. If you're navigating midlife with a brain that feels like scrambled eggs, subscribe. Each week, I break down real tools for clarity, energy, and connection with yourself and with others. So I do this with zero fluff and some compassion. You used to be on top of everything. You used to do lists, deadlines, running your home like a tight ship. But now you probably walk into a room and forget why you're there. So you may reread the same paragraph or email 3 times and it just doesn't click. You may be fumbling for the right word or phrase, spacing out consistently. I do that. Trouble multitasking when it was nothing to complete 10 items on your to-do list within 2 hours each morning. And then you may get overwhelmed with tasks and just shut down. So you're probably asking yourself, what the F is wrong with me? Do I suddenly have ADHD, or is this just brain fog? So being an RN and an acupuncture physician, we look at the body as a whole. So the hormones are, especially estrogen, just don't impact your period and your menstrual cycle. They impact your brain, a huge impact, because estrogen helps regulate dopamine, the key chemical involved in your focus, your motivation, and mental clarity. So when estrogen levels start fluctuating in perimenopause or completely drop off during menopause, it can seriously mess with how your brain functions. And then suddenly the symptoms that you've been brushing off as, this is just stress, they actually start to feel bigger, louder, and harder to ignore. It's like your check engine light is on and you can't ignore it anymore because you're broken down at the side of the road. So what happens is that many women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are now being diagnosed with ADHD or ADD, or they're realizing they've been living with subclinical ADHD, that is, symptoms that were real but never officially diagnosed. Why is this? Because ADHD in girls and women doesn't always look hyper like guys. Instead, it looks like constant mind chatter, trouble starting tasks, forgetfulness. You're losing your focus mid-conversation. It's like squirrel. Being called spacey, too sensitive, or bad with time. We've often masked it. We've become perfectionists, overachievers, caretakers, and then in midlife, when the estrogen fluctuates, it's like a wrecking ball comes in, and our masks that we've kept up for so long start to crack. So what is the difference between subclinical and new onset ADHD? What are you experiencing? So subclinical ADHD, you always had the traits, but learned to cope and cover them up. Midlife and hormonal shifts pulled back that curtain. New onset symptoms are you never really had trouble focusing until now. This doesn't mean you suddenly got ADHD. It could be hormone-related cognitive changes that look and feel like ADHD. Either way, you're not imagining it and you're not alone. So let's look at ADHD and versus brain fog. So you probably heard the term brain fog tossed around a lot. We use it a lot, and for good reason. So what's the difference between brain fog and ADHD, and where do they overlap? So similarities can be trouble focusing, forgetfulness, mental fatigue, losing your train of thought, and difficulty organizing. Difference is that brain fog often feels like a cloud has settled in your brain. It's typically tied to fatigue, inflammation, poor sleep, or hormone changes, and it tends to come and go. ADHD is more about lifelong differences in executive function. It includes impulsivity, time blindness, and emotional dysregulation. And it doesn't just clear up after a nap or a good night's sleep or a little vacation. So it's important that some women have both hormone brain fog and undiagnosed ADHD. That's why awareness is so powerful. You're not the only one who starts 5 tasks and finishes none, forgets appointments, even with numerous reminders, and spends 45 minutes scrolling instead of doing the things you need. I think I might spend 1 or 2 hours scrolling sometimes, to be honest. So I have my own personal experience and have heard multiple similar stories from patients, friends, and women in this community. And they're smart, accomplished women who suddenly are struggling to do what used to feel so effortless. So this isn't a character flaw, it's a shift. And with the right tools, it's workable. So what can you do? I want to let you know this isn't about just fixing yourself. It's learning about how your brain actually works and giving it what it's been craving all along. Support and structure, not shame. Here's where to start: snacks. So I'm going to give you a few things. Start with one thing. Don't start with everything, because you can't do everything all at once. This will just make it all overwhelming. So first of all, just make sleep a lifeline, not a luxury. Sleep isn't optional. It's your brain's nightly reset, and during midlife, it often goes haywire. Lack of sleep worsens every single ADHD symptom, like memory, focus, and irritability, and impulse control. It's like you're trying to run a marathon on a sprained ankle or blindfolded. So prioritize your sleep. Do some things like keep the bedroom cool, dark, screen-free. Wind down with magnesium glycinate or some other calming herbs like passion flower or lemon balm. Another very important thing is go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. No scrolling in your bed. Your brain needs calm. And then do a 3-minute breathing exercise. I'll mention something below as well. If you do one thing, let it be. Try to protect your sleep as much as possible. Then just number 2, start noticing and tracking your brain patterns. You don't need to track everything. Just start noticing what helps or what hurts. You can use a notebook or an app if you do want to log in and track everything. So just notice how your sleep cycle is and how food affects your focus. What triggers brain fog or overwhelm? Look for clues and then try and change those things. So does PMS start brain fog? Do carbs crash you? So awareness creates choice, and that's where your power lives. Number 3, eat to fuel focus your brain. Your brain burns through more energy than any organ. So you want to start with protein-rich breakfasts, maybe eggs, turkey, even last night's leftovers. And then also healthy fats, avocado, salmon, walnuts. You want to also look at fiber-filled carbs, berries, oats, sweet potatoes. Balance your blood sugar. Eat every 4 hours, pair it with carbs, protein, and then of course start cutting out ultra-processed snacks. Number 4, try coherence breathing, and I choose coherence breathing. Any type of meditation or breath work is great, but this is not woo-woo, it's neuroscience. So breathing in this specific rhythm stimulates your vagus nerve and shifts your nervous system from stress mode to clarity mode. So this is really simple. You just inhale for 5 counts and exhale for 5 counts, and keep it smooth, slow, steady, and gentle. Do it for 3 minutes and then build up over time up to 10 minutes. You can use it before a meeting, after an argument, laying in bed, anytime, sitting in the car even. So 5, use external structures. I like to say use everything that you've got, your resources, to delegate. So you want to use either apps, or you want to try timers. Things that maybe had worked before might not be working now. So you just, again, adjust the game plan. There's things like Notion or Todoist that breaks down tasks into micro steps and reminders. Do Post-its or whiteboards that you can put 3 important things you have to get done that day. And also reminders for some self-care, meds, breaks, water. So delegation is also my all-time favorite. Or the word no. Make a list of all the crap you can delegate. You don't have to do do it all anymore. You have to you've put in your time. You've done all this. Start delegating or saying no. External support doesn't mean you're failing or you're weak. It means you're brilliant enough to build the scaffolding you need. Ask for support and the right questions from your provider. If you're struggling, don't let anyone dismiss it with, "That's just getting older." Ask your provider these questions. Could this be ADHD that was never diagnosed because I learned to cope? Or can we screen for adult ADHD, especially if it shows up in women so often? What are my options for support, both non-medication or medication? And then for hormone-related issues, can we test for estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone levels? Could perimenopause be impacting my brain function? And are there bioidentical or herbal supports that can help with my cognition? Ask the questions. If they dismiss you, you can find another provider. Seriously, you deserve answers and support, not eye rolls. So lastly, your brain is not broken. You're not failing. You are doing the best you can with what you've got, but now you're just in a new chapter and it's asking for new strategies. There's power in understanding how your mind works and how hormones play a role. This is your time to rebuild with clarity, not confusion. You got this. So comment below if you've ever wondered, is this ADHD or brain fog? Let's talk about it. Your story might help someone else's feel less alone. So subscribe for more insights, tips, and strategies for navigating midlife. You're not just surviving or pushing through this chapter. You are recreating it with clarity, courage, and yes, a whole lot of joy. Have a great day, lovelies.